Morning, students. This is Miss Coleman. Today we are going to be talking about sentence structure. It is important when we write to choose a variety of sentence structures. Yes, you can have simple sentences, but you also need compound sentences and complex sentences and even compound complex sentences when you get up in the higher grades like 6th grade. So today we are going to discuss what those are and what they look like and how you can write those types of sentences. An independent clause can stand alone. It has a subject and a verb, and it completes a thought. So an independent clause is just like a complete sentence. It's just a simple sentence. For example, if you'll look right here where my cursor is, the secret of life is honesty. Okay? Secret is your subject, is your linking verb. So you have a subject and a verb, and you have a complete thought. The secret of life is honesty. If you look here, it says, if you can fake that. It just doesn't sound like it's complete. If you can fake that, okay, well then what? What goes after that? So you have to have something after a dependent clause. A dependent clause cannot stand alone. It must have something helping it. Okay, it needs an independent clause that can come in and save the day and help it. In my classroom, I use the analogy of two students standing up. One cannot stand alone. He has to have that helper. He's dependent on other people. And then you have the independent who can stand alone. They can do it all on their own. So let's look here at the dependent clause. It cannot stand by themselves. It does not express a complete thought. For example, unless you want to go. Unless you want to go and do what? Unless you want to go where? As you can tell, even when I say it, it doesn't sound complete unless you want to go. It doesn't give any details behind it. We need more. We need more information. We could say, unless you want to go, comma, and then add an independent clause. Then it would become a complex sentence, which we're going to talk about. So let's talk about the simple sentence. Simple sentence is the easiest one. Subject, verb, okay? It runs. That can be a simple sentence. It's your subject, runs is your verb. It completes a thought. It runs, okay? Now, we like for our sentences to be a little longer than that, especially when we get up to 5th and 6th grade. So this is an example. The boys went to the park. You have your subject, boys. Went is your verb, and then you have this nice prepositional phrase at the end to show where they went. It answers the question where. Okay, the boys went where? To the park. That would be your prepositional phrase at the end. It's important to add in those prepositional phrases and adverbial phrases in your sentences to make them better, to make them colorful, as I say. Okay. Tip here, we talked about independent clauses just a minute ago. A simple sentence is also called an independent clause. Same thing, okay? Then we move on to compound sentences. A compound sentence consists of two independent clauses. So two clauses that can stand alone, and they're going to come together. They're going to merge, okay? In order for them to merge, they have to have something in between them to help them merge. And what that is a comma and a conjunction that we call a fanboy, a coordinating conjunction. And I know you are familiar with fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are our fanboys. So if you'll look at our examples here, he was tired, comma, for he went to bed early. Those are two separate sentences. He was tired. He went to bed early. You're going to merge them, bring them together. He was tired, comma, for he went to bed early. Now it's a compound sentence. Okay, let's look at the next one. I cooked dinner and he washed the dishes. I cooked dinner is a sentence. He washed the dishes is a sentence. We want to merge them. I cooked dinner, comma, and he washed the dishes. So you need that comma and that fanboy, okay? Let's try the last one. Jane has a red car. Let me go back to that. Jane has a red car, but Jill has a blue car, okay? So now I'm back. Sorry. Jane has a red car, but Jill has a blue car. Jane has a red car, simple sentence. Jill has a blue car, simple sentence. We want to merge them. So we must have a comma and a fanboy. So she chose comma, but. Now, there are certain times when you use certain words. You want the correct coordinating conjunction in your sentence, the one that is going to sound the best, the one that is going to make the most sense with your sentence. We're going to go over a sample question like that in just a few moments. A complex sentence. So you have a dependent clause here and an independent clause here. Something has to separate it, okay? If the dependent clause is at the beginning, something has to separate it before it gets to the independent. When the cake is brown, okay, we know that's not a complete sentence. When the cake is brown, comma, take it out of the oven. So you have a dependent clause, a comma, and then an independent, okay? That creates a complex sentence. It could also be flipped, okay? In my classroom, when we do this, we flip it. And we could say, take it out of the oven when the cake is brown. But you would not need a comma in that case, okay? You need a comma because here you have a subordinating conjunction. Let's go over what a subordinating conjunction is. So I use this acronym, AWBUS, all of us, okay? All of us are going to learn subordinating conjunctions, all of us, okay? And we memorize this in my classroom: after, although, as, when, while, until, before, unless. So these are just a few of the subordinating conjunctions. There are many more, but these are the ones that are most commonly used. So if you'll look right here, Rule 1 says, if a sentence begins with one of these words, if it begins with a subordinating conjunction, then a comma will have to come after the dependent clause. It gives you example. After we left the park, comma, the windstorm knocked over some of the trees, okay? So you need a comma because it has the subordinating conjunction at the front. Rule 2, never put a comma before one of these words. So the sentence is flip-flopped, okay? We flip-flopped it. The windstorm knocked over some of the trees after we left the park. So if your subordinating conjunction is in the middle of your sentence, you do not have to have a comma, okay? Let's go over some examples here. Which sentence is a complex sentence, okay? Remember, complex sentence, dependent clause, independent clause. Okay, could be joined by a comma if you have a subordinating conjunction in the beginning. A, we went to town for milk and bread. We have a simple sentence there, okay? Even though it has an and, even though it has a fanboy in there, it is not a compound sentence. Those are just listing items, so it's still just a simple sentence. B, when I was a little girl, comma, I rode my bike to the park every day. Do we have a dependent clause? Yes, when I was a little girl. Do we have an independent clause? Yes, I rode my bicycle to the park every day. Did we merge them with a comma? Yes, we did. So we're going to put a question mark because we think that's our answer, but we're going to keep going just to make sure. C, we will have potatoes, comma, bread, comma, and pasta for supper. That is called items in a series. That is a simple sentence, but you are listing more than 2 items, so that's why you have the commas. These are items in a series. That's one of your comma rules. D, I really like bananas, comma, but I like apples better. I really like bananas is a simple sentence. I like apples better is a simple sentence. We merge them. So that's compound. So yes, B is our complex sentence. It has the subordinating conjunction when here. So we do need the comma. When I was a little girl, comma, I rode my bicycle to the park every day. Very good. Number 2, which sentence correctly punctuates a complex sentence? So let's look here and see which one is punctuated correctly. A, before you go outside, grab an umbrella. B, before you go outside, grab an umbrella. So what we need to do here is we need to look and see where the subordinating conjunction is. Is it at the beginning or is it in the middle? It is at the beginning, before, okay? The word before is your subordinating conjunction. So do you need a comma? Yes, you do. Before you go outside, comma, grab an umbrella. B would be your correct answer. And the last one here, I told you you want to make sure you use the correct coordinating conjunction. So let's look. Finish the compound sentence with the best coordinating conjunction. The cell phone wasn't charging properly, comma, blank, we had to purchase a new charger. So I would just add those in. The cell phone wasn't charging properly, for we had to purchase a new charger, and we had to purchase a new charger, so we had to purchase a new charger, but we had to purchase a new charger. So the best word there is going to be so, because you're giving the reason why. It wouldn't work properly, so then you had to do this, okay? The cell phone wasn't charging properly, so we had to purchase a new charger. So that would be your answer for that one. I hope you enjoyed our sentence structure slideshow. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact me, acoleman@pcsd.ms. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today.